They see it. Every single Democrat needs to be asked, do they see Joe struggling cognitively? It is a legitimate question. It's a question that Democrats and the media mob had no trouble asking about Ronald Reagan in 1984, the age question. They had no problem raising these issues with John McCain when he was running in 2008, the age issue, because it's not the guy now fast asleep at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's not the same guy I remember just 4 short years ago. Here with reaction, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Look, I'm not looking to put either one of you in a tough position here. Mark Meadows, you were there. You were Chief of Staff. Jim Jordan, you were there for the 4 years of Donald Trump. I would argue, and I think I have a very strong case to make, Mark, that is the toughest job in the world. Anybody that wants it is nuts. Who needs it? It is a hard job. You need the stamina, the strength, the mental acuity, alertness, all of these things. Now, Donald Trump has it, and I'll even say Bernie Sanders is totally on his game. I don't think he's lost I don't think he's lost one mile per hour from his fastball. Do you see what I see?
Well, I do see what you see, Sean, when you really look at all of this. President Trump barely went 48 hours without holding a press conference, and yet here we have Joe Biden going 48 days. But the bigger problem with this is really the staff around them. You know, we've got a press secretary that is going to circle back and circle back and circle back again. I don't know that we get any more clarity from her than we do Joe Biden. But what we are seeing is really an intentional and deliberate act by this administration to keep the president of the United States from having to interact with the press and the American people.
Well, and I think this is it. Jim Jordan, you've been in the White House often with Mark. You've seen the pace of Donald Trump. I know for a fact that this president was up early in the morning, working the phones till late into the night. I know as a fact.
Yeah, and your viewers remember when he'd walk out to get on Marine One, he would just do those impromptu press conferences. He'd take every question, all questions. Sometimes he'd stay there for 30, 40 minutes. So that's what the American people deserve. And what they also deserve, the great people of this great country deserve to know who's in charge. Who is, in fact, the commander-in-chief? Who's running who's making the decisions? The people of this country deserve to know that. Instead, we get this double standard, this idea that they cover for, I think about what the press has done. When it was President Trump, it was kids in cages. Now it's children in holding facilities. With the Democrats defund the police, but now they're putting more police around the Capitol. I mean, even today, we heard about Biden's dog biting someone. Can you imagine if President Trump had a dog at the White House and it bit someone? The press would go crazy. They'd say this dog is working with Russia and we got to have an investigation. So I think the American people deserve to know who's making the decisions. They're also sick and tired of the double standard they see every single day from the mainstream press.
You know, Mark, as I look at the...
Jim's absolutely right. Jim's absolutely right. President Trump was more focused at 1 a.m. in the morning than Joe Biden is in the afternoon at 1 p.m. I mean, you start to look at this and you say, at what point are we going to start to have real communication from the White House?
Because we all three got calls from him at 1 a.m. in the morning sometimes.
I neither confirm nor deny any conversations I may or may not have had with anybody ever at any point at any time. I am a member of the press, and I maintain that right to keep my sources private. But on a serious note, I do worry. We had Mike Pompeo on this program. I worry about the mullahs in Iran, and they're now pressuring South Korea to give the mullahs $7 billion. I worry about China. I worry about Russia. I worry about, the Hunter Biden potential compromise with all these countries. Jim.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. And look, we all wish the best for the president. I hope I wish nothing but the best for Joe Biden when he's making these difficult decisions about foreign matters and foreign affairs. I understand that we're all Americans. We want the president we want him to be healthy. We want him to be well, but we also have concerns. And I think the country's praying for the president, just like they prayed for President Trump. I think that's important. But you're right. I'm nervous about what our adversaries may be thinking, what they may be up to. And let's hope we get some answers and some clarification as soon as possible.
Final word, Mark.
Yeah, Sean, I can tell you that each and every minute of every day, there are critical decisions that the President of the United States has to make. President Trump did it day in and day out. And if you have a president who is not focused, who is not engaged, who is not bringing his advisors together in real time, you have a problem that is waiting to happen that could have just international consequences.
All right. And you're right. I pray for our president and our country. I do. I want the best for everybody. All right. Thank you both. Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows. Thank